Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a little bit of a big warning to go and talk to you guys over here, where we now have some pretty big PlayStation 5 games that are now even being so bad that the literal CEOs are apologizing for how this launch is going. With a lot of folks in the community being upset, and also kind of a big warning out here for you guys to not go and buy the game. We also have some other big news too as well for some other big games now too, where people are literally just being disappointed that some of these games are being remade to the point where the remade is not even as good as the initial launch. So we have a little bit of things to go and talk about, a little bit of drama too as well. So if you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy, as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We got that Twitter and Twitch room down below with all the Amazon links too as well. And let's go do a little bit of a deep dive, because I myself have even checked out some of these PlayStation 5 games, and they have been horrendous. So hopefully this will be one of those big wake-up calls and slaps in the faces, where a lot of folks can kind of wake up and be like, yeah, we either don't want to spend our money on it, so you guys can save some money, or as well, hopefully they can do something a little bit better as time goes on. So let's go dive on in. First and foremost, this is kind of a big issue in drama when it comes to brand new big games. So as you guys have probably been seeing, we've been seeing some good news on, well, a lot of big releases. Baldur's Gate is a good example. A good example as well as also we're in good initial reviews on Spider-Man. The Cyberpunk DLC has been going phenomenally, and of course a lot of other various games have been doing okay. Although some games have been more on the, well, kind of bigger flex side, such as Starfield, and another one is as of today, in these past few days, Payday 3. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys actually know about this. I was actually looking for this game quite a bit, and I even went and played the game itself, which thankfully is on Xbox in general, but the PlayStation version's even worse, and, well, it was horrible. Like, I don't want to kind of sugarcoat this. If you guys enjoyed the game or genre, don't let my opinion go and skew you at all, especially if it's on Game Pass. If you enjoy it, you play with your friends, you like the vibe, whatever, I'm not going to judge you. Like, it's okay. Don't, whatever I say is fine. You could, disagree. It's still okay. But, it's been horrible. My first impression, my review on it was busted, and I think even this Kotaku article saying Payday 3's busted always online launch is a mess, where the CEO is literally apologizing to the game. Now, for me, I was having issues, just my own personal, thoughts. I had issues loading into games. Lobbies would not be starting. The game itself just didn't seem fun. The AI seemed really jank on every type of level. Like, I wasn't only playing, I played it for multiple hours, and I checked out the normal difficulty, which was kind of seemed like the AI was, well, non-existent. And then I also played the harder difficulties, at the hardest difficulty imaginable. So if you guys have played Payday before, you guys understand there's different tiers and levels and how intensive the AI is, and damage and characters, whatever, all that type of stuff, challenges, etc. And, well, it was horrible. It was not a fun game, to the point where I'm almost even tempted to not even want to check it out, even on Game Pass for free, because I'm already not going to be happy with it. And this is why it's a bit of a warning, because at least if you're playing stuff on PC or Xbox on Game Pass, you only spend $10, you do whatever, that's fine, you don't enjoy it. Well, at least at this point, there's Liza P, which also came out, which I actually was checking out on Twitch. You guys want to hang out, we'll probably be playing that tonight on Twitch as well. It was a fun game. It was cool. It's a good experience. So I'm getting my value. Or you can still check out Starfield, or there's other various games such as Party Animals that just came out. So there's options to go play brand new games for that same $10, because Payday is on Game Pass. But things on maybe, say, Steam or PC, yeah, you just have to pay the actual full amount of money. But that's why it's a big warning, because I want you guys to not waste your money, because this is kind of a AAA game. I think at its current point, even Payday 2 had a lot, concurrent of over 200,000 players. So the IP is big. It's a big IP. It was on a lot of these big trade shows, etc., so people know about it. But because the new heist game mode has suffered from server issues and bad PS5 builds, and even for me on PC playing the beta, the optimization was absolutely trash, to the point where I cannot recommend you guys right now to go and buy this game. They may fix it up over time, I'm sure they might, so keep on, if you guys care about that, maybe be on the lookout for that. Not to completely go and dissuade you guys from buying it or giving your own review, but it's a little bit more, you have to be a little bit more careful. Like a Game Pass, you play for 5 minutes, and if it sucks, you're fine, you're just out the time to download. If you're playing on PS5, you may not get a refund. So by many accounts, Payday 3 appears to be disappointing half-step forward for the long-running co-op bank robbery series. Unlike its predecessor, it also requires players to always be online, which I have always hated. A seemingly grave misjudgment given Payday 3's first week launch woes. The problem with crashes, slow matchmaking, and disconnected servers were so bad that the CEO of creator Starbreeze Studios began even apologizing for the state of the game almost immediately. Now, I understand sometimes launches are hard. I understand sometimes it's difficult. If you're more of an indie studio, it may cost a lot of money. You may want to even try to undersell the amount of people who want to play. But if you're on Game Pass, you're going to pay good money off that. If you also have sold millions of copies on your prior generations, you got good money off of that. If you're trying to go have a live service game and you can't even have people launch the game, that's the most horrible thing. Let's try to play Fortnite and the update doesn't even work. It's not a vibe. And here is their comment saying, "We are so sorry that the infrastructure didn't hold up as expected." So in my mind, it kind of seems like they did the beta and it didn't really hold up well, because even in the beta, this was happening. Like, there was times where basically matchmaking lobbies would break. There'd be times where the games don't start. There was games where I just kept crash out of the game system. And at the same time, if you don't fix that from a beta to the real release, I don't feel sorry for you. Like, I'll gladly go and insult your game because it's just not good. It's a bad experience. And like, if you did the testing, I was hoping you would do the testing for a reason. Saying, we are so sorry that the infrastructure didn't hold up as expected, and although it is impossible to prepare for every scenario, we should be able to do better. We work tirelessly until we have restored all services and our players can get back to heisting again without issues. Now, I do appreciate them working on this stuff. I do appreciate them trying to go fix up the servers and making their stuff better, but it sucks. Like, it's bad. So the early access for Payday 3 began on September 18th, but the massive influx of new players didn't begin until its full release on September 21st. So that means in terms of PC, so Steam, Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation, then multiplayer heist sim also at Game Pass too, which is probably the bigger hindrance, honestly, which is okay. Like, I'd rather you guys do it on Game Pass than not, but also it's probably a bigger grouping of people than they probably expected. And then people paying on the Xbox Series X and S could download for free. PC players complained about the game being stuck in searching mode, which was the same issue I had on prior betas that was never fixed when trying to find a match. And some Xbox players also appeared to have faced unstable servers and crashes, and basically no matter what you went on to, it was a struggle. It was an issue. So no matter what you choose, public, friends only, invite only, it will just be matchmaking forever. Wrote one player in the post that blew up on Reddit. Release day is usually tough for studios, but this is embarrassing. So once again, I'm kind of highly more on the PlayStation side, because if you're playing on Game Pass, it's like quote unquote free. It's included on your service. Now, if you're playing on PC or Steam, etc., it's gonna be a lot worse. Players on the PS5, though, is kind of where the bigger issue is. Meanwhile, began this week with an apparent wrong build of the game. So they literally, this is like, it's horrible. It's horrible. So lead producer Andres Hall and Anjider blames Sony for pushing on an incorrect path. PS5 players, for reasons out of our control, you are currently playing an older version of the game, he tweeted. Sony is working on rolling out the proper patch. The right version arrived a day later, but it was still a bad omens for fans on PS5 who paid extra $30 for the silver edition to play the game before others. So basically, not even with all the issues of servers, matchmaking, this is a multiplayer game. They also literally were selling a bad build, like a horrible build, to people that are paying extra money for the game. So imagine someone's like, I'll pay the extra $100 for a deluxe edition. And then they can't even, like, they didn't get to enjoy it. Like, they basically are supposed to have, like, multi-player access beforehand, which makes sense. Like, you pay the extra money. Think like Starfield, even, they did this week. But like, they just didn't get the actual thing they paid for, especially for PS5 players. Like, people are upset. Like, people are really upset on Reddit. People are upset on Twitter. People are upset at the actual devs, on the studio CEO, everything, and rightfully so, because they're paying extra money and they might not even get a refund on that. And now, is it Sony's issue? Is it their issue? This is like, I don't know, it's catastrophic. Like, this basically is like one of the world's worst launches I've seen in a very long time. The game itself doesn't work. Like, it's a multiplayer, pure multiplayer game, pretty much, that doesn't even work. So why do people care? Like, this would be basically, like I said, trying to go play like a Fortnite, but you're just in a lobby full of bots, if you can even get into a lobby. Like, no one's going to enjoy that. It's not a good experience. I did not enjoy my experience on Payday. And it made me sad because I enjoyed Payday 2. I had fond memories of it. So naturally, the outages have once again spurred calls for companies to move away from always online requirements, which once again is another big thing, because people don't want to have always online requirements when it comes to playing games. Like, you want to be able to go play with your buds or play offline or do private lobbies. And also, Payday 2's offline mode lets players run through missions with AI-controlled characters, which is fine, I guess, but not my vibe. While the allure of the series remains its real-time online multiplayer antics, being able to still enjoy the game without an internet connection was a nice feature. An offline mod for the game is apparently already in the works, though, too. So they said, Heisters, I hear you on the wish to be able to pause the game and see the benefit of doing that. We're fully focused on launch right now, but we'll evaluate this once the game is out as a potential quality of life update. So at least they are listening to give them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, people are not happy with this. So basically saying, yeah, they're waiting for it. Like, they're okay with that. They're number one on Steam, so the game has been popping off well on September 21st, and they're basically experiencing like slow matchmaking, and they're investigating the solutions, and they just have issues everywhere. Like, they are trying, but this is like for a big game release, it's just not good. So the ongoing mess is another reminder of why so many people take on wait and see approach, and that's why I didn't buy it myself. I'll maybe check it on Game Pass, maybe if I want to, but people are saying Payday 3 feels like the kind of game that is not meant for day one purchasing, which is horrible, but rather wait until they have a bunch of content released and they go from there. So this is why it's like rough. Like, the review is basically, it's like horrible. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of issues. Like, the actual jobs themselves are basic. The gameplay wasn't fun. The gameplay loop wasn't fun. And if there's gonna be some good support, it might have some potential, but other than that, we'll have to see. Another big example too, as well as that funny of Konami actually posted out their resolution frame rate info for Metal Gear Solid Masters Collection, and a lot of folks are kind of dogging on it once again for for stuff on, like, say, the Switch, basically having a horrible resolution, having a 30 FPS lock, and basically saying that even back in the day, it was almost comparable. So a lot of folks are just not happy with games as of right this second, which makes sense. Mainly because, like, yeah, it's cool to have these remade, like, things, sure, but if they're not good, who cares? I don't know, give me your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We got that Twitter and Twitch room as well down below. Got the Amazon links too and everything else in between. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.